Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, both in Zimbabwe and around the world. My name is Steve, or you can call me Captain Steve, and I'm with
Jerry, the chartered vendor. It's Jerry Monyazungu, the chartered vendor. Welcome,
yes.
guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting my book. I'm happy with the feedback which I'm getting. The book is selling, huh?
Yeah, it's selling. That's fantastic. So yeah, if you're wondering why these two gentlemen are in front of you, we basically created this podcast to give you information on the trends that are happening in the market, so that as a business leader or an aspiring business leader, you can always get up-to-date information on the market analysis to help you decide on what course of action to take within your business for the best.
Yeah.
And Jerry, last time we were talking about exporting to Europe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will link down a longer article on in the description. You can check it out in the description of this YouTube video. But there's an organization called QIMA, QIMA.
Okay.
It's based in Europe.
Yeah.
So basically what they do is they help our Zimbabwean farmers to ship their products, their fresh produce to Europe.
Yep.
So part of the requirements of shipping to Europe is that you need to have a representative from Europe who helps you with compliance issues, making sure that your product is checked per spec. You know, we put our those what you call them, the ingredients,
exactly.
Some of the preservatives that we use. Yeah, they need to be compliant with the EU regulations and expectations. Yeah. So since you are in Africa, in Zimbabwe, there's no way you could go and knock in their compliance offices. So they give you an agent who helps you, and of course they make a commission out of the transaction when everything is sorted. So they literally help you out in getting whatever you produce, tomatoes, onions, garlic, ginger, whatever, you name it. I would link down the article in the description so that they can check it out in detail.
Okay, that's great. So what's the relationship between probably, just to understand, because I know that most of the people want to export, they end up registering with Zimtrade.
Yeah, of course.
Because who is actually accepted with Zimtrade? Because what I know is most of the people are farmers, people who are actually probably in Nyanga, they are doing their apples. In Wonde Valley, they are doing their bananas. Their thoughts is just sending those bananas to Mbaremsika. But what about if you start sending that banana into Britain?
Yeah.
What about if we start sending that apple into Britain? And at one point, I still remember that we used to supply beef to the Queen of England.
Yeah, we used
sometime. I don't know right now, but we used to do that. So we are saying this is an opportunity, especially with Brexit, since Britain is looking for new suppliers, they're looking for new markets, since they no longer rely on the European Union treaties. So what is really required? Is it for a farmer? Is it for people who are only registered? Because I noticed that there are a lot of Zimtrade seminars, conferences which are usually done. Some of them, are they the ones who actually facilitate in terms of people probably showcasing on trade fairs in Zambia, trade fairs in Malawi, etc.?
So yeah, Zimtrade has got the mandate to put together all those people who are willing to export outside. And one of their issues that they've always highlighted is it's an issue to do with numbers. We got to do with volumes.
Exactly.
So they always encourage people to collaborate and put your product, your yield together so that it's in significant quantities to export. Exporting is it's lucrative in terms of the profits.
Exactly.
But then the expenses involved in exporting, they're also high.
It's not,
so you realize that it's a numbers game. You gotta push the numbers to have more of your yield exported. So you can organize yourselves. We come from Watsomba.
Yeah.
It's a rich market for bananas and stuff. So we could get those individual farmers, bundle them up into a group of farmers. Maybe they can form a cooperative. Then we can register it at M&J.
Exactly.
And then they form their cooperative, and then they put their bananas together. So instead of having maybe 2 bags of bananas, they now have trucks of bananas. And they're also partners. Companies have partnered with Zimtrade. Like I know Vital Logistics along Seke Road, they've partnered with Zimtrade. They facilitate the refrigeration of such products for shipment to countries like the Great Britain.
The Great Britain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are some of the nitty-gritties that we need. But for more information, you can always get it on
we can
the
also
website.
Also probably try to also write a blog about this.
About that one,
but what we just need, probably doing consultants and talking to companies. What I noticed is most of our entrepreneurs, they lack exposure. Like
they do.
If someone is just coming from a certain job, they were doing a job, probably was an executive at a certain company. Then probably through, probably people were laid out, is now in unemployment, and they thought of starting a small business. That business, before they know it, is now growing. But they don't know now in terms of actually scaling that business, probably for it to be international, for it to be, we've got brilliant ideas, but in terms of scaling now. And as you're also mentioning Zim trade, it means when someone is now thinking of exporting, they're now thinking big, they're now thinking. But what I also noticed is, I noticed small companies joining the likes of thinking about exporting before they even satisfy the local
market.
Yeah, I think I noticed a lot of companies, probably, if you've ever experienced these companies who are also supplying dry fruits. I think I ate some of them. They're actually doing dried sugar cane.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
delicious, a good product, which can even, I think that product can be competitive on the local market. But now it depends on how you are also marketing your product out there. Do people really know if this product is in existence? I was actually shocked. Dried bananas, delicious, excellent product, which you can eat at any time. You can enjoy your banana, whilst even if it's off season or it's on season. And this is something which is really, really excellent. But these companies now, what I noticed, they go and join to export. They want to export. But the local market, do they even know about them?
No.
If they actually set aside the whole local market for them to import, to start exporting. So it's a quandary and it's a problem for them. And
yeah, indeed.
What I just want to encourage the entrepreneurs to say, let us try to market our product local first. Because if something is accepted local, it's powerful. Like if my book is accepted local, it's easy for me to launch that book probably in Zambia, to launch it in Malawi. Because why? They can easily, they've got a reference. They've got many references back home. And also, I think Zimbabwe also a multiracial. We've got multiracial, we've got people who are staying in Borodale, GCPT, we've got many people of different colors. So if you notice them, they're accepting a product, it means it's also being competitive on the international market.
That's true.
Yeah.
And also part of the ignorance that comes with the business leaders or the entrepreneurs of our days, that most of the entrepreneurs that we have, they're self-made business people.
Exactly.
They are bathed out of the economic pains.
Exactly.
Right? So they've got excellent products, but the product placement, the distribution, the marketing, it's off because they lack some of the fundamentals, the basics that need to carry them in order for their businesses to survive. So
what can be done?
I think we need to have more of these seminars, more of this podcast, and more of workshops, and partner with organizations like the Small to Medium Enterprises Development Committee, that one, or organization, I'm not sure, but it deals with small to medium. So I think we need to also partner them so that we can disseminate some of this information, because really it's so sad when you see someone with a great product, they quickly jump into the export market before they're even ready for it. And then they close down.
Yeah, and usually in the international market, it's harsh because they're now competing with big
international
giants.
brands.
So when you are disappointed there, do you have where you can actually say, I'll come back home and do this product? So I think we've got excellent products. When I was in Bulawayo, I noticed people are doing rubber. People are doing all sorts of
rubber producers in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, rubber manufacturers. I noticed it was my first time seeing rubber being manufactured. And starting from scratch, and people were manufacturing rubber to supply even the soles. Actually, that company is Omega Industries, and they said they even supplied the president of Zimbabwe with one of his soles. The shoe he's actually wearing. Okay. So if we've got people who are doing it like that, and they're even saying, they're boosting and saying, even other companies are actually coming to them to buy their rubber. And it's not only shoes. We're talking of rubber of those mines, rubber is demanded on almost, even in any car, there's rubber. They can do that. So it's a Zimbabwean company which needs to be supported for it to be competitive internationally. And they need these guys, they need training. These guys, they need exposure. Because we're just talking of someone probably who just graduated from what? From
college.
Yeah, from college, or someone who just graduated. You notice it being done by big companies way back, or big companies, because most of the companies, you notice that when was it Murray and Roberts? It's now Masimba Construction.
Yeah.
So when you notice a big company, a giant like Murray and Roberts, it leaves Zimbabwe, it means there are going to be 1,000 construction companies trying to fill that space. And some of them, they are not organized. Some of them, they don't even know what's supposed to be done. Because most of the people, what I notice, they know what is supposed to be done on the operation side. But they struggle with the admin side. That's why even right now, if you're going to say, what do you need the tax clearance for? People will be like, I need it for, no, Zimra. They think that Zimra is just there
to get their money.
They get their money, get it.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Steve. I think we'll actually join each other after the break. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.
Absolutely. Welcome back. If you are joining us just now, this is a podcast where we get to talk about the latest trends in the markets, giving you information that will help you propel your businesses forward. And Jerry, before we went for a break, you were explaining something interesting to me. But I've got a follow-up question for you. What do you think about us exporting our products out there when we haven't serviced the local market? How are the dynamics set? Should we create a great product and then we export it before we service the local, or we should start by servicing the local market, get enough leverage until people out there start demanding for our product, and then we export? What's the right time to export?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I'll give you an example, but this was a guy who actually exported his services, not a product.
Okay.
There's a guy called Buffalo Soldier, if you know him.
Yeah,
He's a musician.
Yeah.
That guy was very big at one point in South Africa, to the extent that I think he was voted one of the best dancer he got an award in Africa. But just because he didn't have a stronger bass at home, it kind of starts, right now is a bit of on a decline in terms of the popularity. I thought that guy was going to give even Burna Boy. It was at that stage at one point, but because you don't have stronger support at home, it's going to be very difficult for you to start doing things out there. Just get. I'll give you an example of Burna Boy. He's loved, he's supported in Nigeria. The people who supported him, who are still supporting him the most, are the Nigerians themselves.
Yeah, they do.
He's supported by the Africans. Then later on now, he's now exporting that service into Europe. And when he's getting into Europe, there are also Africans who are going to support him first. Africans who are also friends with the Europeans, who actually go to his show in numbers, because why? His base is strong. So these are services. So even if it's a product, like I've written this book, if it cannot be supported locally, how is it going to be really supported internationally? Yes, there are scenarios which are there are rare scenarios whereby a product can be successful outside. But like probably there are people who do. I've noticed one of my, shout out to my sister Sandra Ndebele. She does, those crafts, those small animals. You do like those arts, those small elephants. She exported. She actually exports this probably to Dubai, to China. And that's what she does as well, besides music. And she was saying they really do well. But she was also saying, if you go with those products at Vic Falls, they also do very, very well. But internationally, they bought it at a bigger price. But I strongly think that if the local people are not accepting that product, yes, there are products which are mainly probably for the international market only. But it's different from a product which needs, yes, I know that people in America, they will read books better than people in Africa.
That's true, yeah.
But if my book is not going to be accepted here, yes, it can be accepted internationally, but I don't have a strong base. My foundation is weak. The moment the international community is just going to say, I no longer want to read this product is a mess, it simply means I don't have where to run. It's better for me to run back at home. Then I can get that strength. That's why you notice even when I was talking about music, Jah Praiser, your Wiki D's, they're strong. They've got a strong base at home. So it's easy for them if they go if they're rejected internationally, they can easily come back home and do shows. But when you are rejected at home, it's going to be very difficult for you to be exposed. Yeah,
it's actually true. Especially I've noticed in the music scene that artists who are based in the diaspora, they do quite well in the diaspora, but when they come home to do shows, the turnout is usually low, very, very low.
Yeah.
But bro, let's move on to, there's another interesting facet of business. Like if you were mentioning about Sandra Ndebele exporting the arts and craft and whatnot. Sometimes we can have a business or an entrepreneur who has noticed that their kind of product is not appreciated home because people don't have a need for it. You know, Africa is very bountiful of resources. So sometimes you can find that your market is in another country, based on the fact that there is a lack of that particular product or service as compared to back home. So in that regard, we can say someone has a better chance of surviving outside. Like I'll give you an example for blueberries. Do you buy blueberries at your place?
No.
I've never, I'll be honest, I've tasted them, but I've never bought them home. But there is a huge demand for them outside. So in such cases, I think a business can actually leverage off international support more than local.
Exactly. Even when you're talking of your gold, your diamonds, there's no way they're going to be processed in Zimbabwe. Most of them, they're processed outside, internationally. And internationally, we've got many consumers of jewelry in the international market. But I think we are supposed, do we have a jewelry company in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, we actually do. One of them is an extension of RBZ, Arix Jewelers or something. Yeah, they try to make some stuff, but well, I've heard that the diamonds that they use, they're polished outside, but the gold they make it here, they process it here with the Fidelity gold refineries and stuff. But then for the diamond, I was told they actually get it polished outside. And also, do we really have an appetite for jewelry?
But I was shocked. There's a company which is in Zambia. It's called Jof Africa. They're doing very well, and they've got many branches in Lusaka and in Dola. Those guys, they're actually selling jewelry in Africa. I was actually surprised that Africa can also consume jewelry.
But would you personally invest in a diamond coated watch, gold plated?
With our culture now, we are not jewelry people. I think it's especially in the Indian community. So you notice that Indians, they consume more jewelry than any other, probably than any other race in the whole world. So when you're doing jewelry, for sure you'll be targeting an international market. There's no way you're going to target someone in Murewa to buy a ring for $300. That would be a waste of money for them, and they don't even see the value. So some of the products, for sure, they are demanded outside better than here, but I think it's always good to try at home as well.
Okay, that's interesting. And also, I've noticed something from the movies and the TV that we watch. You know, out there, they've got insurance for their rings. So when they buy the expensive jewelries, they've got an insurance, an active insurance, always paid up on the month, and for their wedding ring, their engagement ring, their jewelry, their diamonds, their whatever. Do we also have such services as a consultant? Have you ever dealt with a company that offers insurance for jewelry?
I haven't. Probably we need to bring an insurer on this show sometime, but I haven't personally, because you know us is very difficult for us to spend on those things. Like our culture, we're never taught that jewelry is a form of. I think I've had people buying a watch for $40,000, a watch for $18,000. I think I had at one point, is it Floyd Mayweather bragging that this watch is for, was it 18 million? And they're like, is this guy okay?
$18 million
why should I have a watch for 40,000? Why should I have a watch for all those kind of millions of dollars? So to them, it's their culture. That's how they were brought, and jewelry is very essential for their culture. Just like probably they appreciate fruits than us. We only eat fruits when you get into hospitals. That's when you say, no, I need an apple. And you think you're going to gain vitamin just
so like that. Yeah, that's very true.
Us. We are told that, no, true. Eat your salsa, eat your rice, and probably it's only on a Christmas day or on a wedding day where you put your
coleslaw, your salad. That's very true. Yeah. So I think there's also a need for re-education of ourselves as a culture, and also the re-education of our entrepreneurs. Have you know? There's something that always sparks me up with our entrepreneurs. If I start a business today, if I make some bit of money, the next thing I want to be driving an expensive car. Where did we get that?
Yeah, I think it's because we are born in it's Africa. It's a land of poverty. Mm-hmm. So when you make it, you want it to be known. You know, like I learned a lot when I was in Bulawayo, to the extent that sometimes you'd want even to change your wardrobe, because you notice a guy who is actually owning 5 game parks, and at one point he was the one owning about 190 rhinoceros. You get what I mean?
Wow.
And that guy has got farms which are under 500 hectares, and this guy has got several trucks. But this guy will wear his jeans for 3 days, one jean. This guy wears simple shirt probably twice a day. But us as blacks now, we now want designer shoes.
Of course.
You want designer suits.
Of course.
You want an expensive office. You want expensive, those shiny tables. So it's us. Naturally, we want, and also we want good things. There's no problem in wanting good things. But I learned a lot. This guy has got a desk. You see, this desk probably is 15 years old or 10 years old, but they're still using that desk. It's smart. Their boardroom is not even fancy. It's no more chairs. And they're like, but this guy is a multi-million dollar business. He's running a multi-million dollar business. If you want $1 billion, because this guy, you're talking of someone who's got investments internationally, but is simple, inexpensive things, your reception, so normal. Not even a logo which is flashy. Things
something
are normal.
Simple, nothing complicated.
So I don't know, it's because of our, probably, I don't know what you think, Steve, but I think it's the way we were brought to say, if I've got something, I should make Steve know. To us, success is no success if Steve doesn't know that I'm successful. So when I'm on when I go to the airport, I make sure that I
take pictures
whilst I'm on departure. And I'll tell you that God is very good. And when I'm now in Vic Falls, I have said to myself, is it going to be a holiday? Are you going to probably have a nice holiday if people are going to take away your phone from you? And they'll say you're going to Vic Falls, but no phones allowed there.
Yeah,
is it going to be a holiday?
Some people will have a difficult time. You know, there are people, if we had those serious crime perpetrators in Zimbabwe, like kidnappers and stuff, I think some people would be missing seconds from traveling. They always share. You know, if someone is going to Bulawayo, when they're in Kadoma, they would stop, take a selfie. You literally know where they are, what they're doing.
You can track them.
And sometimes you can even track the problems that they're having in their lives.
Through their statuses, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our podcast. Do let us know in the comment section what other topics you'd like for us to cover for your own convenience and your own benefit. And also, just to put some fun into it, let us know what you would buy if you make your first million in your business. What would you buy? Do let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise,
your first 10,000.
Your first 10,000. Okay, first 10,000. What are you buying? I'm definitely going for a new phone.
iPhone 14.
An iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm Steve.
I'm Jerry.
See you next time.